Saucony Endorphin Trainer in the house. Another one of these long run shoes, marathon training shoes, souped up daily trainers. I'm excited about this one. This is the V2 of the Saucony Kinvara Pro. They first announced this thing last year. It's been teased for a while. I know some people got it early. I actually heard somebody told me that other reviewers did not like it. But I'm not sure if that's because it was too firm, like the Saucony Endorphin. No, this is not the Endorphin. This is the Kinvara Pro. I'm not sure if the Endorphin Trainer here was too firm compared to the Kinvara Pro or compared to the other shoes that are on the market, like the Adidas Evo SL and the Boston 13. Or maybe the Incredirun was too soft. We'll have to see. But let's open this thing up and find out. It's actually Saturday night. I'm going to do my long run in this thing tomorrow morning. I like doing these overviews of the shoes before my long runs on Saturday night because then I can sleep in a touch longer. We just put all the kids to bed. I can still hear people walking around out there. I think that's Charles. I open this thing up here. Now, there was another Endorphin Trainer, which was the Saucony Endorphin Shift 3, which that was actually one of my favorite daily trainers. Again, another... Man, it's been hard to get a flow recently because everyone's out and about. But Endorphin Shift, another shoe that people said was too firm here. This is 100% standard EVA. Really nice rocker. That completely changed the ride on this thing. Look at this aggressive rocker. This is still one of the best geometries of any daily trainer of the past few years. You got 39 millimeters in the back here of this standard Power Run foam. I think it was 35 in the front, 4 millimeter drop. Perfect, firmer, lower drop shoe. And Saucony killed it in favor of first the Kinvara Pro. So this was the next evolution. And this is essentially an Endorphin speed shoe with the Kinvara name, which means nothing to people now. And it's actually funny that Nike's now doing the same thing. They're taking the Vomero franchise. Our guy Barrett pointed that out. They're trying to make the Vomero name a thing. I think they should have gone with Invincible for that comfort franchise, but Saucony realized nobody knows what Kinvara is. Nobody cares. Also, this shoe was a dud for a lot of people. Bigger runners liked it for the support, and I actually really liked it because it reminded me of the Endorphin Shift 3, except on this guy, you get the Power Run PB on top, you get a partial carbon fiber plate, and that super aggressive rocker, man. Look at that beautiful rocker, and look at that beautiful rocker. So Endorphin Shift, this was non-plated. The Kinvara Pro nudged it into a more plated speed day race direction with the top layer of race foam and carbon plate. And then this is the Endorphin Trainer. So you can look at this as the evolution here of the Endorphin long run shoe, because they have the Endorphin Speed, the Endorphin Pro, and the Endorphin Shift was supposed to be that high stack training shoe, high stack daily trainer. Kinvara Pro was their second crack at it. Neither of these two shoes really completely nailed what they were trying to do. Both of these shoes were liked or even loved by people. There was a huge Endorphin Shift hive, and I was one of the members. I mean, just look at this thing too. It was basically a perfect daily trainer. It really was. Now, I know I'm off topic here. This is a planned diversion. I was planning to talk about the Shift because this thing was just so good. Plus, you had that Power Run Plus insole that us sickos are so obsessed with. Look at this thing. And it's pretty thick in here with the plastic heel clip, so stable, easy to run in, great for picking up the pace because of the rocker. It almost has the same geometry as a race shoe, and Saucony killed it, and then they got the Kinvara Pro, and then they killed this thing. So let's open up this Endorphin Trainer shenanigans here. Bada boom, bada bang. All right, let's see. So I decided to get this super bright colorway. I'm kind of regretting it now that I have it, and I've been regretting it almost the entire time since I ordered it. I've been regretting getting this colorway. The reason I got it was because I already have the Endorphin Elite 2 in this colorway. I forget what they're calling it, but it's this orange tangerine citrus colorway. So I thought, let me get something different. Let me get something that people aren't tired of seeing. So I have this puke / urine / rotten lime extremely bright yellow. I used to be such a fan of these vibrant, bright colorways. My first ever running shoe that I put a lot of miles on, what was it called? The Ultra Boost 22. Can't believe I forgot what the Ultra Boost was called. But that thing was this color. It was the Parley version. I loved it. It was sick. This is slightly more yellow than that, and also just, I don't know, with the black, maybe it will grow on me. The thing is, I've said this before, it's like the Washington Commanders jerseys. They looked awesome this year, right? Those Commanders uniforms look so nice because Jaden Daniels is throwing spirals for 50-yard touchdowns. So if this thing is throwing spirals tomorrow on our long run, I'm going to start loving the colorway. But what is the Endorphin Trainer update of the Kinvara Pro? What are the changes here? So starting on the bottom, look at this. They did add some rubber. That was the other weird thing about the Kinvara Pro. No rubber. This is ground contact EVA, which does create a smoother ground feel. It's nice. I was running in the Vomero 18 yesterday and today. It has a very thick rubber. And that thing, the thick rubber combined with a firmer foam like this, it deadened some of the ground feel. So that contributed to that smoothness with the rocker. With here, the new version Endorphin Trainer, they're just adding rubber to some of those areas where you're going to be wearing the most. So right at the front where you're towing off when we're running fast, especially in the rain, that'll be good to have some grip there. And then in the back to prevent that scuffing area. If you take a look at my Saucony Endorphin Shift 3, I'm a proud heel striker, and I've worn that rubber all the way down. This is back when I used to take all my shoes up past 300 miles. Somebody actually asked me recently if I was going to take the, Mizuno Zen to 300, Neo Zen to 300 miles. I would love to. I would love to take shoes to 300 miles. It's just for the sake of the business, I can't. I'm sure at some point we'll have other testers and other reviewers, but for now it's just me, and I try to test as many things as possible and try to put as many miles in a short period of time to get a good read on these shoes to let you know which ones you might like. So most of the shoes I get 30, 50 miles on, 100 miles on within the first month or so, and then if they're good, I take them into the rotation, I keep them for some comparisons, but I don't get 300 miles on anything these days, unfortunately. Mag Max is almost at 200 miles though, so the really good shoes we can get high mileage on. Now this thing, unlike the Mag Max, does have a plate. The Mag Max has been my favorite training shoe in this category, and yes, this has a plate, but it's not a speed shoe. It's not like the Evo SL or the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4 would be the one in the Saucony lineup that's designed for fast efforts, that's designed for interval training, that's designed to really get it cranking. This thing, if you take a look at the back here, it has that stability. It's keeping that. It's keeping those elements that we loved, some of us who are fans of these older Saucony shoes, in the Shift 3 and the Kinvara Pro. It has that wider base, and it has that firmer power on foam on the bottom. So that's still there. The main update, other than the puke color and the rubber, is this top layer of foam. So Kinvara Pro, top layer of foam was the Powered Run PB. In the Endorphin Trainer, it is the Incredirun, and boy, oh my goodness. So this is my first time touching this shoe. I didn't even go to TRE last year. I didn't go to the running event. I missed it in 2024, so I didn't see this shoe there. And dude, this foam is so soft. So you can see how soft it is in the Endorphin Trainer as I'm pushing this in. Oh gosh, it almost feels like I'm gonna break the foam. Yeah, I can push this in and I can feel the bottom of this heel cup around the back. And by the way, this look, it's already growing on me. But yeah, just for a visual, in case anyone has not seen my coverage of the Endorphin Elite 2, I am putting up a short review. Our guy Grant is cranking on that for Instagram for the launch date. But long story short, this is extremely soft, and I just wanted to show you, if you hadn't seen this already, look at this. This foam completely compresses in on itself. Saucony claims it's soft in hand and then it firms up when you run. That was not my experience with this. It felt soft. It felt soft when I was running. It felt soft in my hand. It felt soft going fast. It felt soft going slow. It does have the aggressive rocker and the carbon plate, so that helped it. And it performed really well at faster paces. It's just distractingly soft. And with how squishy this is, no amount of marketing or carbon plate can save this from feeling unstable on cornering. It's a very fun shoe. Might be the most fun shoe I've ever tried. It's Adidas Prime X Strong levels of fun and bounce, but just one step too far in terms of a shoe that I would actually race in or take out for a serious performance. The shoe that's more restrained than this, that does the job really well of being soft, fun, but still a fast and serious shoe, would be the On Cloudboom Strike. All of that is to say, this Incredirun compound is incredibly fun, but incredibly soft. It is just, man, it's like melted ice cream or a marshmallow. This is a nice shoe. They did a really good job with it. It's just 100% of this foam, for me, not my preference for race day. Now, the Endorphin Trainer, it seems promising. The biggest thing for me is going to be, am I just going to be running right on top of the plate? And with the power that I put down, especially when running fast, I can compress these top layers of foam a lot. So I'm 6'2", I run with around the 170 cadence, and my speed paces can be down at 520 per mile, 530 per mile. That's a lot of force through the whole platform. The Nike Zoom Fly 6, I felt that I was really compressing that top layer of ZoomX. That's a super similar setup to this, where you have that very soft layer at the top, that plate, and then a firmer foam on the bottom. We'll just have to see how this goes. So this does still have that quarter plate. Now, interestingly, the forefoot stack actually looks lower here. Let me grab my calipers. Oh, that's so nice. They were just on my desk right there. I'm telling you, man, this floor thing is completely crushing me. But let's go up here at the forefoot. Okay, that's not low at all. That's 33 millimeters. That's very similar. Stack height looks very similar. For some reason up in the front, maybe it's just, I think it might be an optical illusion. That's 28 right there. That's about the same. I think it's an optical illusion. Yeah, because this part of the foam here is painted black. But here's the thing. As I'm squishing this in and on step in, and with the force that we put down, it's going to feel a lot softer. So the effective stack could be much lower. Just take a look at me compressing this. So this has the potential to be an awesome cruising, long run, high mileage banger up there with the Mag Max. It has the great rocker. It doesn't look super tall. We'll throw it in the stack rater. It still looks like a normal shoe. Yes, it does have a big tall bulb here, but it's not super crazy. It's not like the Pegasus Premium, or even, I'm looking over there, Asics Gel Nimbus, where it's going to be super soft and squishy throughout. It has the potential to be really good. It also has the potential to be weird. And again, I've heard some mixed things so far that maybe this Incredirun doesn't completely come together. And that's my thing with all of these shoes that are using multiple elements in the midsole. For example, Adidas Boston 13. Boom, right here. This was a very cohesive shoe. Like the Endorphin Trainer, bottom layer of firmer foam, top layer of race foam with a plate, or in this case rods, but it feels very cohesive. It all comes together well. Compare that to the Nike Zoom Fly 6, which for me, I could feel all the different elements working. The heel felt different. It felt cushioned. The front felt too soft. I could feel the plate at times. So it didn't come together in a way that for me had a pleasant ride experience. Contrast that with the Boston 13, which is great. So lots of great options on the market. I'm excited to see how this thing does tomorrow morning. But before then, let's throw it in the lab. Man, Saucony was such a mixed brand for me last year in 2024. The Hurricane was great, and I use that today for walking. I took that to a birthday party. The Guide was fine. The Ride 17 was a miss. The Triumph I did not like. The Speed 4 I did not like, and the Pro 4 I liked. So they're about 50% batting average. So far this year, I've liked the Ride 18. I think that's the only shoe I've tested yet. And the Endorphin Elite I've liked, just too soft and crazier than I would like in a race shoe, but we'll see. This will be the tiebreaker here. All right, look at that, 299 grams. And again, we have to keep in mind what type of a shoe this is. This is closer to a Mag Max than it is an Evo SL. This is trying to be a cushioned long distance trainer. It's a marathon training shoe with some elements of speed assistance, or a distance training shoe with some elements of speed assistance. But first and foremost, it's specialized for the long run, not the fast run. Saucony has a bunch of fast run shoes that are not this. They have the Kinvara. They even have the Sinister. They have the Speed 4. This wouldn't be the fast training shoe. So $299. Let's compare that to the older version. So the OG of this shoe, what I'm calling the OG, this is the forefather, the Saucony Endorphin Shift 3 RIP. That's 282 grams. Would you look at that? That's super surprising because this is 100% of the standard training foam. But we can throw the Shift in the Stackerator and see how that compares to the Endorphin Trainer. Kinvara Pro, I'm guessing this is heavier. This just feels heavier. No, just about the same weight, 301.8. So they really kept the formula pretty consistent from the Kinvara Pro to the Endorphin Trainer. Very similar weight. I actually didn't get a look at the uppers here. Yes, similar padding around the upper. So same 8mm drop. You can even see inside the Endorphin Trainer, it says 8mm drop. So if you like the package of the Kinvara Pro, on paper, the Endorphin Trainer is very similar. Now, we can throw the Boston on here for comparison. This is one that, again, this speed training or marathon training plated shoe segment is so broad. This is one that's more in the middle. It's not a fast speed training shoe like the Evo SL, and it's not that long distance shoe like the Prime X Strong. It's a daily trainer with elements of speed. It's a cool shoe because it has all the technology, but it feels really normal. Now this comes in at 273.5 grams. Now let's go grab the Mag Max. It's over there. So bang, this thing is 321 grams. So lighter than the Mag Max. The thing is, this does have a large chunk of standard EVA. A lot of brands are moving away from standard EVA. There's one more shoe I got to bring over here, Hoka Mach X2. I wish I got it because now I have to go walk all the way over there. But that was my favorite marathon training shoe of last year, and it has a very similar formula to the Endorphin Trainer. So take a look at this. Bottom layer, standard EVA. Top layer, race foam. Now this is not as soft, thankfully. This Hoka Piba, it's not as squishy as that Incredirun, and it has a plastic plate instead of the carbon fiber plate, but very similar, right? And look at this, rocker geometry, bang. Rocker geometry on the Kinvara Pro, bang. So I love the Mach X2. This looks very similar. The Hoka, I like the way the Hoka looks better just in terms of the colorway, but the construction, very similar. Now weight, the Hoka's a lot lighter, 267.5 grams. Let's do a quick width comparison here. I usually do this in the stack check segment, which we'll do in a second, but let's see. So 99 millimeters wide in the Endorphin Trainer and 94 in the Mach X2 for some context. So Mach X2 around 270 grams. The Endorphin Trainer was 300 grams, but it does have a wider base. But you know what? It's not about the base. Unlike what Megan Trainer says, I know Endorphin Trainer, Megan Trainer, it's all about the base. It's not. It's all about the stack.
Straight up.
That was legit one of my best segues of all time. Better give me my flowers. Give me my flowers before I retire from ShoeTube and just have a team of minions. Just gonna start paying people to put 300 miles on these shoes. Alright, moment of truth here. Endorphin Trainer. I actually have no idea on paper what this stack height is, so measuring in the left one, bang, 42.5. That's pretty much what I would expect. 42.5 on the left side. Let's take a look at the Kinvara Pro. One generation ago. And so far, this update to me, it seems like they just plopped in the Incredirun foam and did a minor upper update. Look at that. Kinvara Pro is actually coming in 1 millimeter taller than the Endorphin Trainer. That's interesting, right? compared to some of the other shoes. Let's take a look. Hoka Mach X2. Let's see if this bad boy is taller. And I love the Hoka Mach X2 because it feels versatile. This thing is 41 millimeters if we round up. I also have about 70 miles on it, but I love the Mach X2 because it feels good for every single type of run. I did some fast hill repeats. I did 30 reps of fast 10-second hill sprints in it one day when I was training for that ultra, and I performed really well. I love popping off the front here, and yeah, just this stack of race foam is perfect. But then the stability and the comfort is good in the back too for longer miles. So that's my question with this thing. Can that still hold up? It doesn't seem as aggressive to me in the front. We'll get a read on it tomorrow, but yeah, it's not a speed shoe. And I know I've said that so many times, but I am hoping that it can perform well for marathon pace at least, which is what I'll do in the long run tomorrow. So what else should we throw in the Stackerator 5000? Let's throw the Boston. So they took this thing down. For some context here, they took this thing down from the Boston 12. I now have 35 miles on this roughly. And look at that. It comes in at 35 millimeters. So Kinvara Pro, or not Kinvara Pro 2. This should really be, you know what this should be? This should be the Endorphin Shift 5. But instead it's the Endorphin Trainer 1 or Kinvara Pro 2. Good stack, 42 millimeters. On paper, it seems like everything I want in a long distance shoe for cruising for long run. So tomorrow we'll see. Can this stand the test of mileage? I will see you in the morning. I'm going to take down the Stackerator and get my beauty sleep. Actually, hold on. I'm not going to do that yet. See, as I was talking, I remembered. You can't win them all. Not every segue can be a banger. Sometimes I just got to keep talking because we didn't do the QA check. This colorway kind of looks like a tennis ball, right? All right, left one more time. $299. Right one. $302. Not bad. 1% difference. That's solid QA. Good job, Saucony. I'll see you in the morning. Oh, hold on. Just in case I forget to say this. Bro, we still have that. Bang. Look at that. Oh, it's a thick one, too. That's some thick Power On Plus. Bro, we're going to be in business. We are going to be, matter of fact, standing on business. All right, that's how you segue. That's how you go out. I'll see you in the morning. Going out with a bang. So it's almost 6:30. I have my breakfast going here. Pre-run fuel today. I'm going 3 whole wheat pancakes with jam from Best Jam Ever. And I'm just keeping it chill this morning. I'm keeping it chill. I'm listening to Heed the Call podcast. Haven't listened to that for a while. I got my Kinvara Pro 2 or Endorphin Shift 5 just hanging out over there. I'm excited. I think this is going to be a nice long run in those guys. It looks like a good long run shoe, right? Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? So good long run breakfast. Hopefully good long run shoe. I'm going to crush some calories, and then I actually got a big fuel pack from Running Warehouse, so open that up and pick some of the good stuff to bring with us this morning. Yes, I'll move it. This is the fuel pack I got from Running Warehouse, and there's a shoebox in there. If you're on the Running or Supwell app, we have a discount code that takes 10% off of all fuel. So if you're training for a marathon, that will add up. That's 10% off of Morton, 10% off of Torque. You'll see all the good stuff I got here today, but it's a good deal. And by the way, if you buy your shoes through my Running Warehouse links, that helps support the channel because I buy a lot of these shoes myself, and so getting the affiliate revenue means I can have more money to buy more shoes, and then I don't have to go asking the brands for stuff. All right, here we go. Torque gels. Bang. Oh, I guess they're not. That's funny. This is the thing. Look at this. I love this. Different brands at different stages of development. So Torque, they use one box for all their gels, and then they slap a sticker on that tells you what the flavor is. So this is rhubarb and custard. This one is Bannoffee. You already know when that Bannoffee comes out, we're going to have a good run. Now what else is in here? There's a pair of shoes. I'll get to that one this week. Morton 100. And another Torque. So let's see, what flavor is this? Apple Crumble. Oh, this is pretty fire. I think I might go straight Torque for the fuel today. Torque is just a fun brand. The flavors are so good. All right, I'll go Apple Crumble. We'll go, what is this thing? Oh, this is the caffeine. I think the Torque caffeines have more, or like Torque caffeinated has more caffeine than Morton. Yeah. Oh, this is the Bannoffee. We got to kick things off with the Bannoffee. We'll go Bannoffee, Apple Crumble, and then this is the rhubarb custard right here. Bang. Here we go. So yeah, if you like the independent testing, if you like the buying all the shoes, make sure to buy stuff through my Running Warehouse link or be on the Supwell app. And I try to separate the Supwell app as a business from the testing on the channel. It is connected, but it's not at the same time. But I don't know if a lot of people out there know how difficult it is to run a profitable business. This is why I have so much respect for everybody else in the running shoe industry and running content industry who's been able to build a successful business, because being profitable off of content is so hard. And that's why I still have a 9-to-5 job, but we're getting there. I've put in the work. I was thinking about this last night. Literally every day for 2 years. I started working on the Supwell site every day in March or April 2023. And I haven't stopped since then. So we're steadily growing. If you connect with it, make sure to pick up something from the merch drop, buy your shoes through the Running Warehouse link. That will make sure that I can keep testing these shoes independently. And of course, be on the Supwell app, because the Supwell app is a service it's not just to support this. That's why I don't have a Patreon. The Supwell app is its own product that has its own benefits, like these things here. But yeah, that's just a sidebar to say, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep growing. I'm going to keep bringing value. All right, close for today. Going bust down white hobby jogger hat. OG hobby jogger. What is this? Quarter zip. It's kind of cold. OG Supwell shirt. OG features socks. And Dick's Sporting Goods Versed. This is the Versed pants. I'll put these things on, then we can get the shoes on. Supwell app, Supwell app.
Straight up.
Pretty cold out here. It's back in the 30s American again. Lacing up the Endorphin Trainer, aka Kinvara Pro 2. And man, gosh dang, this has a comfortable step-in feel. So the Saucony Ride 18 came out recently, and what's the other one? The Tempest. This has a very similar upper to those. Saucony's 2025 upper is so good. Super soft and comfortable on the top. And man, this has got to be one of the thickest Power Run Plus insoles I've felt. So step-in feel here. I haven't been this excited on a step-in feel in a while. This is a nice, comfortable step-in. Also, that top layer of Incredirun, I think that's helping with that step-in too. So man, this is an 11 out of 10 for step-in comfort. By the way, this colorway, it's not good. It's not good. I just wanted to get something different than the one everybody's seen, the one that Saucony has been teasing for so long, and the same colorway that's in my Endorphin Elite. That's why I went with this. It's not good. Grant said it was trash. I texted him a picture. Charlie said it was trash. She actually saw it in the low light first. so she thought it was black and white, and this would have been fire in black and white, but with this yellow, no. This is pretty swagless. Also, I don't know why I have my Nike slides on. I think I was wearing these yesterday. These are okay. They're very thin. It's not like UFOs or Crocs. All right, let's do a walk test here. So one confusing thing, let's get this twig out of here, is this is designed for bigger runners. That's why Saucony came out with the Kinvara Pro. It's supposed to be a bigger runner, speed shoe, 4-hour marathon shoe, or long run shoe. They actually, in the Kinvara Pro marketing, said that it was a carbon plated shoe for runners who are not elite, who are not running sub-3 marathons. So with that, it's odd that they still have such a tight, narrow toe box. That is one of the things I'm finding here. It does have that classic Saucony feel. I really wish they would widen out their toe boxes, especially in these shoes, in the shoes that are designed to be for bigger runners and for runners who are spending more time on their feet. So that's the biggest downside so far. In terms of the foam feel, dude, this is super comfortable. This is one of the most comfortable carbon plated shoes I've tried. The insole is great, and then that top layer of Incredirun is great. We just have to see how it runs and if it's cohesive. So plan for this morning, 20-mile long run. I'm going to throw in some marathon pace reps, take this by vibes. I'm feeling okay. I took a down week, no workout, so hopefully the legs are... Actually, that's not true. I had one workout this week, which was appropriate, but that was a few days ago, so hopefully the legs are fresh, can hit some marathon pace, but my hope is that this is a comfortable, long-distance cruiser. Let's do this thing. Quick drip check before we get going. We want murder pack. Other than the white hat, I think that's the way you have to do it with this colorway. It's the Demon Time tennis ball colorway. You have to go all black. You can't be pulling up another. Or you could go neon pink, neon orange, all neon. You could go Miami Ultra Music Festival 2016 with these. I think those are the two routes. Murder Pack or Miami neon. All right, let's get going here. All right, first few steps here. This is an interesting experience. There's a lot of squish from the Incredirun. I can feel it compressing down a lot, similar to the Endorphin Elite 2. But then there's more stability because of the bottom layer. But way softer than the Kinvara Pro. You still have that nice rocker. And good bounce too from the race foam. It reminds me of the Pegasus Premium, though, with how soft and how suspended I am with the Incredirun, which is really just a wild foam. But so far, I think this is gonna fix a lot of the issues I had with the Endorphin Elite, the 2. Just how wild that race foam felt. Yeah, comfort here is great. And so far it does have that cohesive feeling. Yeah, this is really pleasant so far. Gives me comfortable, high mileage daily trainer or long run vibes. I think my assessment of, or prediction of Mag Max category is right. That's the type of shoe this feels like. And honestly, the ride is pretty similar
to the Mag Max 2. Just in terms of the cushion, the stack, the bounce. The foam's compressed differently and overall feel different, but similar vibe. It's interesting that this dropped right after the Vomero 18 because this is an interesting juxtaposition. This has a lot more of the race foam versus the Zoom X and the Vomero. You can see where the race foam is on this. They're not hiding it like Nike does. And it feels like it has all the race foam. The Vomero 18 is solid, but this has more of the experience that people were seeking from the Vomero 18, which is soft, bouncy race foam with the support of training foam. So far, it's just really pleasant and comfortable. I'm enjoying it. Mile 1, 7:20. This is nice, man. I'm really liking this so far. Now, I don't call things super trainers or super shoes because for me, it's one of those things that lacks a real meaning. But this feels special. The ride feels different and special. It feels like a souped up daily trainer. I guess that's what a super trainer is, right? But in a way that the Boston 13 is not, and the Endorphin Speed is not. The Boston 13, which I really like so far, that's more of a daily trainer, an everyday shoe with the tech in it. This feels more special. This feels more wild so far and bouncy while still being stable. This Incredirun is an incredible foam. It really is. Now the question with this, of course, is going to be how long does the soft bounce hold up? And is this thinner layer of Incredirun enough? Or will we get more of that firm standard EVA shining through? We'll have to see. Mile 2 was a 7 flat. Mile 3, 7:03 pace. This is nice. It's smooth, bouncy. Top layer is soft. It's stable. One issue I am having so far is the ground contact time feels longer than I would expect. The standard EVA foam on the bottom just not rolling through as quick as I would like. But that's the trade-off of stability. The Endorphin Elite, which is $100 more expensive, $95 to be precise. That's gonna snap off the ground quicker, but it's also way mushier and squishier. This is great around the corners. One question I have though is, what if they put Power Run Plus on the bottom instead of the Power Run? Maybe that's coming in the V2 of this, but that could have been fun. Probably would have been quicker and lighter, but we can't ask for too much. So I'm gonna do some 2-mile repeats today, starting at mile 4, around marathon pace, so 6 flat or faster. Test how these things are for picking up the pace, but I'm down at 7 flat and they feel good. It's not hard to get down here, but it is much heavier than what I would typically run marathon pace in. But that's okay, because it's a training shoe. I'm also going to take the first gel here apple crumble torque. People have this expression in the USA, as American as apple pie. This is a British company. Do they say as British as apple crumble? One squirt, everybody knows the rules. It's been a while. Woo! Bro, that's still fire. Torque has the best flavors in the game. So good. It reminds me of Chicago marathon training. Tastes like blood, sweat, and mileage, baby. Yeah, this heel of standard EVA is clunky and chunky. It's not as smooth on the bottom as the Endorphin Shift 3, but the benefit of this EVA is it's actually decently fast. It does bounce back. It's not deadening my progress in a way that the React X from Nike, sometimes I feel like the impact absorption on that is good, but there's no bounce. This has some bounce. All right, mile 4. First set of marathon pace, let's do it. This is still a big boy shoe, man. Bombing 550 pace downhill feels great. Boom, first set down, 606, 556. I used to think that maintaining fitness was stagnation, but I view it differently now. Maintaining is like paying the mortgage every month. Being consistent with it, because guess what? When you pay that mortgage, each time you're paying more equity, less interest, getting closer to ownership. With each subsequent 20-mile long run we do, or marathon pace workout, that's stacking additional miles at marathon pace. Nobody can come and take those away. So if I've run 150 miles at a 6 flat pace before that, I'm now at 152. And the body doesn't forget that. That's building equity, baby. But in terms of these shoes, protection is great. So think about where this fits in. So far, more protective than the Boston 12, and also easier to get down to marathon pace than a Mag Max. So it feels like a true marathon training long run shoe. It's calibrated appropriately for the work today. And the Saucony designers did a good job executing the brief. Also, weight's not bad at all here at 300 grams. And on foot, it's fine too. As long as there's bounce, I have no issue with weight. Weight is only a problem if the shoe isn't giving anything back. But look at that 100-mile race recently. That Raj, our guy Raj from Hoka, ran the Skyward X. He was DQ'd after, but he ran 100 miles in a heavy shoe like the Skyward X, but it's also super bouncy and protective and comfortable. So it's worth it. It has been super windy these past few weeks. Every long run I'm coming out, especially running in this direction, I don't know what it is. So I'm gonna be running straight into the wind for this next repeat, first mile. Is it the way the earth is rotating on its axis. Hobby jogger science. All right, mile 8, 6:49. Time for the next marathon pace repeat. 2 miles, let's go. Yeah, straight into the wind. It was brutal. East to west winds. Heading back the other way is so much better. Went 6:12, 6:01 on those. If I'm in a race shoe, sometimes I'll dip down to 5:40s or 5:30s on these marathon pace workouts. That's not happening today in these. It's locking me in though to a nice groove. 6 flat, that marathon effort, that feels nice. And then also I'm running these recoveries faster too. I ran the last set of recoveries at 7 flat, even faster, 6:50. So it's perfect for that sub 30 marathon zone. Or if you're bigger and want something comfortable for long runs, this is great so far. Halfway through and it's holding up well. Feels like a true long run shoe. I don't know why, but I'm running my recoveries hard today. Looking down on that watch, it's 6:20. That's unnecessary. It's weird because on these marathon pace, I'm not getting down to 5:45. I really wonder though, if I were in a race shoe, if I would get that 15 second per mile pop. Because I'm feeling decently fresh in between the working sets. So not a fast shoe, like I said yesterday. But it's doing what it's supposed to do really well. I'm also gonna take my caffeinated gel here. Hopefully it's kicking by the next set. You already know. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party. Bannoffee, Flocko. All right, Bannoffee. I said Banorton. Imagine a Bannoffee flavored Morton. That would be next level. A Bannoffee 2025 batch taste test. Let's see if they still have it. Woo! Those banana notes are hitting different this morning. That's strong on the banana. It wants to be going dumb out here. Let's go. Nothing like a Bannoffee on a Mint Hill Sunday. There's one of these runs for some reason where a 6:30 pace feels like a 3 out of 10, and then a 6:10 pace feels like an 8 out of 10. I have no idea why. I'm running all my recoveries under 7 minutes per mile. I think it's the shoes in part. They have that steady cruiser character. But then they're maxing out for me around marathon pace. I guess that makes sense. Third set, here we go. Wind is crushing me out here. Man, sounds like an excuse, but this wind is adding +2 on the RPE scale. It's brutal. Get to turn here and go the other direction though. And this is the thing with pace. It's so influenced by the environment. Uphill, downhill, wind, shoes, temperature. Can you hear that? This wind, man. Third set in the books, 6:12, 6:05. Yeah, once I cross 6:40, 6:30 in these, it gets exponentially harder with each progressing 10 seconds per mile. Most definitely not a speed shoe. I'm gonna double back on their gels quickly. Mile 14 and a half. Let's go strawberry. What was it? Strawberry custard? Rhubarb custard? All right, bang. Rhubarb custard. This is as British as they come. I think the real, as American as apple pie, is as British as rhubarb and custard. That's different. Woo! That was good. Dude, more than any other brand, these torque gels taste exactly like they say. It's crazy. These are so good. It's like dessert. Ah. Yeah, this one is a banger. I'm gonna do one more set. We're at 14.8. I'm gonna go again at 15 so I don't have to do the last mile up the gigantic hill. And last week we did 3 sets of these for 6 miles total in the Boston. That'll be a nice progression this week. It'll be 8 miles total, a marathon effort. And there's a difference between effort and pace. Goal marathon pace for me right now is in the 540s, but that is not coming this morning. I've been needing a recovery week for the last 2 weeks, but keeping the mustard on the dog, because I have a feeling Mason's spring break is coming up, and that's going to be a forced recovery week. And the body remembers effort. So I'm just chipping away. And I threw out there I wanted to go sub 230 this year. I'm not hitting 230 paces right now, but that's okay. It's the process. I throw on a pair of carbon shoes and fresh legs. I'll be crushing these at 540. I can even be hitting these at 535, but that's not this morning. I'm not on fresh legs, so we got to keep the gosh dang mustard on the dog. All right, let's go. Last set here. Building that equity, baby. This is a brick house. Charlotte water, keeping the mustard on the dog. No days off for the utility company, baby. That's what we are, Supwell Running. We're infrastructure. Not fast this morning, but we got it done. Ended with, I think both were around 6:10. Maybe first one was 6:05. So mile 17 now, just cool to 20. This is a good long run shoe. This is a heel striker long run shoe. Almost at mile 18 here, up the huge hill. I'm gonna take the last gel. This is the recovery gel. Kickstart that replenishment. And I did end up bringing a non-caffeinated Morton, so that's what I'll take. I wish I had another apple crumble. That would be a tasty treat, but instead, straight up maltodextrin. Sometimes I do wonder what the effects are gonna be if, say I'm training like this for 10 years, taking 4 of these gels every Sunday for 10 years. On one hand, maybe the mileage benefits and generally being healthy, having a healthy BMI, eating mostly whole foods the majority of the time will outweigh it. Or if doing this for 10 years is not good. And I know you can make homemade gels, etc., etc. I straight up do not have the time for that. There's trade-offs to everything, man. I think the trade-off of being well fueled and getting in the mileage and being highly active likely outweighs any risk of having the processed gels once a week. But there's only one way to find out. Check back in 2035 on the Hobby Golfer channel. Another Sunday, another 20 miler, and another 20 miler out of the box in the Kinvara Pro 2, aka the Endorphin Trainer, aka the Saucony Endorphin Shift 5. Put some respect on the shift. 20 miles, 1300s, 642 pace. It's crazy, man. I'm telling you, this is such a weird shoe because it's not a weird shoe. It doesn't feel weird, but the performance today, it was so easy for me to hit 7 flat and 650s in this thing. I was just cruising. The effort to hit those paces was so low. Even on, I don't think my legs are super fresh, but even on those types of legs, and then getting down to 620, 610, felt so hard. My marathon pace was not as fast as it normally is, but then the relaxed pace was faster. So I don't know, man, but this is a really solid long run shoe. I think the headline is, and I'm going to give it to you right now, if you didn't like the Kinvara Pro, or if you didn't like the idea of the Kinvara Pro, you're probably not going to like this. And I want to do a better job of going forward, getting back to separating my personal bias and preferences with how these shoes might perform for a wide variety of people. And I try to do that, but I'm just going to start making that more explicit, right? Because not everyone's running 100 miles a week. Not everyone is a heel striker. Not everyone is 6'2". Not everyone is running 550 pace or 6 flat pace. So the way that these shoes perform for different people is going to be different. I think this is really a heel striker optimized shoe. And I'm a proud heel striker. Look at that. We're already digging into the rubber in the back. But man, that was a solid run. Last week I did a similar run in the Boston. I was slower and I did one fewer set of marathon pace. So that's progress, baby. We're building equity at the shoe market. It's not good, man. It's not a good colorway. People always call me a contrarian. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. With the colorways, though, I always like to find something different that people haven't seen before. It's also just more interesting, right? This thing has been out for, you've seen the pictures for almost 6 months now, so probably haven't seen this colorway. It's different. It surely is different. If I had to pick, if I were you, I would just go for that buttercream tangerine colorway. Use my Running Warehouse link, by the way, to support the channel. But yeah, this is not it. Maybe some of you out there would like it. I don't know. It's not my personal favorite, especially the sun's coming out. I don't know, man. But we got 20 miles out of the box in our feature socks, trying to strike gold. No Jamie Foxx in the Saucony Endorphin Trainer OG, aka Kinvara, that's the Mint Hill OG right there, but aka Kinvara Pro 2, aka Endorphin Shift 5. Water's the perfect temperature. Yeah, Saucony has been trying to find their long run trainer, their more comfort oriented shoe in the Endorphin line. They launched that Endorphin series with the Endorphin Shift, the Endorphin Speed, and the Endorphin Pro. The Speed and the Pro took off, were loved by hobby joggers everywhere. The Endorphin Speed 2 is still a legendary shoe. That, the Asics Super Blast, and I would put the Puma Mag Max up there in that tier now, and maybe the Glycerin Max, but some of these shoes that they have this lore around them in Hobby Jogger Nation, in the Hobby Jogger community, on the Supple app. For people who are interested in the culture of running shoes, there's these certain shoes that just have this quality to them that's almost magical, and the legacy of them grows bigger than the actual performance. That was the Endorphin Speed 2, Speed 3 to a lesser extent, and a lot of people are still training in the Speed 3. My guy Santos, he's still training in the Speed 3. I see there's actually a kid in the neighborhood here. He trains in the Speed 3. I see lots of people on the Supple app training in the Speed 3. I put nearly 500 miles on the Speed 3. That was before I was testing all these shoes that I do, but 2 pairs of those, 500 miles. And then the Endorphin Pro, that was also loved. I still see Endorphin Pro 2s. Man, there's always fast sub 240 guys, sub 230 guys at races. I don't know what it is about the Endorphin Pro 2, but fast guys rocking that. That's one of those iconic race shoes as well. It gets buried because the Endorphin Pro 3 came along later. That brought newer runners into the fold. That also came along right as the wave of pandemic era marathon runners was accelerating. 2022, everyone got into running during the pandemic. Races started happening more 2021, 2022. A lot of people signed up for their first marathon after the pandemic in 2022, and the Endorphin Pro 3 was the shoe that we used in 22, 23, and 24. I was one of those people. The Endorphin training shoe, which was the Shift, that never quite caught on. It was too firm for some people. The Kinvara Pro was too firm for a lot of people. This is Saucony's attempt to iterate and to change. So from the Shift to the Kinvara Pro, they added that carbon fiber plate, a 3/4 length carbon fiber plate. They also added the top layer of race foam from the Endorphin Speed 3, the Power Run PB. Now in this, they're keeping the same formula, but adding that Incredirun. And headline here is, it's a really nice change. I'll give you my opinion, and then we can go through the 3 questions. So from my experience out here today, my opinion, I liked it. I really liked it. It's in that Puma Mag Max on Cloud Monster Hyper category, where it's a long run shoe. It has a race foam or an elevated training foam. It has a nice rocker. It's comfort oriented. Good bounce. And it's comfortable, especially for me as a heel striker. Now, look at the ratio of foam back here. It's about 80% of the training foam in the back. So I could see why some people might not get along with this. You do have a lot of this firmer training foam in the back, the Power Run, but I don't mind Power Run. I really don't. I love the Saucony Endorphin Shift 3. That was 100% Power Run. You are getting a lot of it though, and the thing with out here today, it felt way better at those relaxed paces when I was letting that Power Run here catch me versus trying to fight and get to the front. It didn't feel the best for trying to dig down, get to the front, and pop off. It's also only a 3/4 length plate, I believe, which means you're just not getting as much oomph and bite off the front. But I really enjoyed it. It's comfortable, great protection. It was easy for me to get down to 7 flat, 650 pace. I was cruising. And if we throw up this run today, you could see this is one of my fastest long runs in a while. Averaged 640 pace, and it was weird because the whole time I was saying it feels harder to get down to the faster paces. And of course you can run fast. Somebody asked me the other day, can you run a 6:10 pace 10K in the Evo SL? Now that depends. Can you run a 6:10 pace 10K? That's right. It's not the shoe. I've run marathons in a bunch of shoes. I ran in an old pair of Epic React. I ran a sub 3 marathon in the Endorphin Pro 4, which some people say wasn't a fast shoe. I've done 550 pace in the Cielo X1. So it's about the runner, not the shoe. But certain shoes give more speed assistance than others. And this does not have a lot of speed assistance. It does have pace assistance. And this is something that I've been thinking about a lot. Our guy Grant, Supwell, Texas, our new social media manager, Grant Reese, shout out Grant, putting in work. He just got a pair of the Mag Max. I'm getting him some shoes as part of his what would you call it, a contract, I guess. He's getting new shoes. We'll be featuring them on the Instagram. He just got the Vomero as well. But he said he felt that his effort and heart rate was lower at a 7:30 to 8:15 pace in the Mag Max versus at an 8:30 to a 9-minute pace, which is more of his relaxed recovery, everyday, slower range. Very similar thing here where at a certain pace range, it feels more assisted. So if I were in a true daily trainer or a long run shoe without pace assistance, no plate, no race foam, I would likely have been running this at a 7:30 pace. Even a shoe like the Boston 13, that has less of the pace assistance at the slower paces. I would likely be going at a 7:40 pace or a 7:50 pace naturally for those miles on the recoveries, whereas in this, I was going 7 or 7:10. So the rocker is nice, it gets those legs turning over, and especially if you're gonna be putting power down into the shoe to the middle or the back, this is gonna be great. The Power Run needs some energy into it to get something out of it. It is very stable, it's gonna hold your foot in place, but to get the most out of the shoe, you gotta be putting down some force. This is a big runner shoe. If you're a smaller runner, if you're working up at the front here, higher cadence, you're not gonna like this. It's also just not what it's designed to do. So let's go through our 3 questions. First, what is this designed to do and how does it accomplish that? How does it stack up to its intended purpose? Second, how does it compare to the shoes in the category? And third, how does it compare to everything else in the market? So this is designed to be a long run shoe, and specifically a long run shoe for bigger runners, and even more specifically a 4-hour marathon shoe. That was a lot of the marketing for the Kinvara Pro. I'm not sure if Saucony is still saying that for this one, but when they initially launched the Kinvara Pro, it was designed to be a marathon option for runners who wanted stability and support, and I absolutely love that. I like stability in my training shoes. I like support, and I think that's initially why a lot of people connected with this channel, because I was okay saying, hey, I'm a heel striker. I like stable shoes. I'm a bigger runner. There's nothing wrong with those things. We can all have our personal preferences. So for my preferences, this shoe is perfect and it accomplishes its intended purpose really well. Yes, it has an older foam. You could potentially call this foam outdated, and that is one of my questions with this. I liked it for what it is. It accomplishes its intended purpose well, but could it be even better if they upgraded the Power Run to Power Run Plus? Now in the insole here, you do have that Power Run Plus, that beaded TPU that we see in the Triumph 20 and 21, and that's now in the Ride 18, and it's super soft in here, great insole. I'm just wondering, it is super firm on the bottom. This Power Run is a very firm foam, the standard EVA. How would it be if they put the Power Run Plus here? Would it still have this stability with that partial carbon fiber plate? Would it still work as this works with the softer foam? And would it be even bouncier? It could, maybe the impact absorption would be worse though. Maybe it would be too squishy, especially with the Incredirun foam on the top. And my biggest question was, how is this Incredirun foam gonna do, especially for that intended purpose? If runners are 200 plus pounds, or like me, taller, 6'2", running faster, is it going to feel too squishy with the Incredirun? Because that 100% Incredirun in the Endorphin Elite, especially out in the back, the Endorphin Elite 2, that was just too soft for me. This is not too soft, and the Incredirun pairs really nicely. It feels decently cohesive. Now, I can feel that chunk of foam in the back, and that's probably the biggest downside of the shoe. It is the back, and it is really going to reward that heel striking, that landing here, but again, intended purpose. That is the intended purpose. This is a heel striker shoe. You have to keep that in mind, which is why I was so curious that in the Kinvara Pro OG, they didn't have the rubber. But this does have the rubber. That makes it an even better option for heel strikers. It was comfortable, and I actually don't remember let me pull up the time of the run we did today. 2 hours and 14 minutes. So yeah, I went 2 hours, 14 minutes. I felt that I could have gone even longer. It would be good for 2.5 hours, 3 hours, right up there with the Mag Max, potentially, could it be? Which brings me to question number 2. How does this compare to everything else in the category? Now, I would put this in that long run training category, that cushioned category of shoes where you have elements of speed assistance, but it is not a speed training shoe, and it is not an elite or a fast marathon training shoe. The other shoes in this category would be Mag Max, Cloud Monster Hyper, Hoka Skyward X, those would be probably the top 3 shoes. Maybe the Brooks Hyperion Max 2 and the Hoka Mach X2 is another one. So against the Mach X2, that is still, man, I love that shoe because it threads the needle so well of being a fast shoe and a long run shoe. And it's funny because Hoka has the Skyward X as well, which is a great option, but that's more of the long run shoe or the recovery run shoe. The Mach X2 just threads the needle really well and it's more versatile. This just, for me, versus some of those other shoes, it doesn't have that higher end oomph. Which brings me to Mag Max. How does this do versus the Mag Max? I want to do a full comparison test, but out of the box here, I would say the Mag Max, it has, just by virtue of being non-plated, you're going to get more of that squish. And the heel of the Mag Max, while it's not a firm foam, it does compress more. And it feels more compliant, and it's a slightly different experience because with this, you're getting the top layer of race foam, you're getting the carbon fiber plate. It just operates slightly differently, but use cases are very similar. I would take this. I think I would take this for marathon pace. So if you're looking for a marathon pace long run shoe, this could be a good option. The Mag Max, how a lot of people are using that in the community, that's more of the daily trainer, comfortable daily trainer. Like our guy Grant says, that's gonna feel best at your faster everyday paces. That's the most efficient spot of the shoe. This was similar, but it's also lighter than the Mag Max, and it can flex into faster marathon pace. Now, for some people, your marathon pace might be slower than your everyday pace if you're just starting out. So marathon pace doesn't mean much. But if you're training for a 4-hour marathon or a 3:45 marathon or a sub 3:30 marathon, that's where marathon pace starts getting more relevant when we're thinking about long runs. And that's where this would come into play. I think for most people out there, if your marathon pace is 9 minutes, 8:38, and you're a heel striker and potentially you're a bigger runner, this is going to feel great and feel better than something like the Mag Max for picking up the pace and for that speed training, especially as we get bigger shoe sizes, right? The weight starts to feel even heavier on foot. So I think Saucony makes their shoes up to a size 14, if I'm not mistaken. So again, another good one for bigger runners. Versus the Cloud Monster Hyper, that's an interesting one, and we've been talking about that a lot. Supwell team, Barrett, Grant, and I want to get some more miles on that, but that one feels slightly more nimble, but it's very similar to this in that when I try to step on it and get marathon pace, it's not the best. So headline here is, it is going to feel best for longer runs and for getting down into that steady zone, but not fast training, not interval training, not speed training. Which brings me to question number 3. How does it compare to everything else on the market? $180. So this is a specialized shoe, but if you look at what else is out there, I didn't even mention the Super Blast 2. That would be similar to this. $20 less expensive. The thing is, you are getting that standard training foam here, so that's gonna be the thing for a lot of people. Do you mind a firmer foam in the heel? Do you feel that it's a detriment to the shoe to have more support and stability? If you don't, you're gonna like this and it's a good buy at $180. But again, if you're landing more up the forefoot, you're a lighter runner, or you just don't like firmer feeling platforms, more supported feeling platforms, you're not gonna like this. But $180 feels fair. Incredirun is one of the most exciting, if not the most exciting new foam on the market. The ride in the Endorphin Elite 2 was incredible. One of the, probably the most different shoe I've tried, race shoe. The Neo Zen is another similar one, but with the Neo Zen, I can't recommend that for everybody because it is decently stable, but it just is pretty soft. This is gonna give you some of what you get in a shoe like the Neo Zen, some of what you get in a shoe like the Endorphin Elite, but way safer, way more reliable, and way more controlled. So if the idea of stability, control, and reliability is appealing to you and it's not a turnoff, this would be great. They haven't done a complete radical overhaul and making this a Primex strung OG competitor. It's more of a restrained Hoka Skyward X with the higher drop. And again, it does feel like a higher drop shoe. I should say that. Hoka Skyward X is 5 or 6 millimeter drop. Mach X2 is a lower drop. Cloud Monster Hyper, because of the cloud pods in the back, that feels like a lower drop. And I think on paper it's somewhere in that 6 to 8 range. This almost feels like a 10 millimeter drop, but the rocker is good and it's not going to hold you on the heel back here. It appreciates when you land back here. So $180 feels fair to me. If you're looking for a new long run shoe you're training for a marathon, you're going to be putting a lot of miles on, and you want to try a fun new foam, this is a great choice. If you want a fast speed training shoe, something for your tempo runs during the week, if you're doing tempo runs faster than marathon pace, or if you're not even training for a marathon, I probably wouldn't even consider this if you're not doing a lot of runs over 90 minutes. This is really going to reward you for going longer. Otherwise, I would just get something different. I would get the Neo Zen for a fun daily trainer. I would get the Mag Max for a fun daily trainer, but this is a really solid long run shoe. I'm looking forward to putting more testing on it. So in terms of my personal preference, I like it. I can see myself using this in the rotation as a high mileage runner. In terms of who it's going to be best for, heel strikers, bigger runners, anyone who's training for 3:30, 3:45, 4-hour marathon and seeking a long run shoe who wants that support. All right, I think I was trying to get everything in here. What else? Oh yeah, I talked about the Vomero 18 out there. That was something I wanted to talk about. I really like how Saucony implemented this Incredirun foam on the top, and you can feel it. And that was something that I was disappointed in with the Vomero 18. They talk about ZoomX this, ZoomX that. Look, Saucony is modestly telling you it's Incredirun. They don't need to plaster it everywhere because you can legit see where the Incredirun starts and stops. So this does have more of that race foam experience than the Vomero 18. Those are different types of shoes. Vomero 18 is more of a solid, standard, reliable workhorse. This is more of that specialized long run shoe. So we'll see how it holds up. I'm glad they put the rubber coverage on it, but big thumbs up for me on the first run. I liked it. And I think if you're looking for a long run shoe and you're going 4-hour marathon, you'll like it too. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. I appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
Supple Kitchen in action. Tofu scramble. We just picked up bagels. Got the cutting board coming out. Multiple children are on the premises. It's crazy. Apparently she just took a step. Oh, look at that. Ah. She doesn't perform. Crawling is more efficient. So I'm done with that.
What? Ooh, careful. Ira, hold on. You're really letting him do this?
Bang! Another great Sunday long run and another great brunch in Supple Kitchen. I have the Endenton Argote coffee from Black and White. I actually just ordered some more coffee from Hatchet, which is my other favorite roaster. And for brunch, we have tofu scramble with beans, some greens, looks like zucchini, peppers, vegan cheese, and then I picked up some bagels from Family Dough. We are all stocked up, so this is going to be the recovery brunch. Mileage and calories. That's all you need, baby. Bang, one more thing. Charles wanted to show, she put it all special out here because she knew I was going to want to show it. We have the tempeh teriyaki rice bowl. Look at that teriyaki tempeh. That's perfect. Some broccoli, some red peppers, some rice. I could feel that run put some good old hammering, put some hammer sauce into my legs. So this will de-hammer those legs, hopefully. I'll see you tomorrow.